I hate to say it, but home buyers are screwed. But based on the information I'm about to tell you, that could change as we go through the rest of this year. Stay tuned. What's going on, my YouTube friends? This is Jerry Abbott, your #1 real estate resource here in Las Vegas. Hey guys, before we dive into the video, a couple of quick things. Number one, if this is your first time to the channel and you want to learn the cold hard facts about Las Vegas real estate, then definitely subscribe down below. Number two, make sure to give me a thumbs up like, guys. It would really help the channel out. And number three, if you guys are thinking about relocating to beautiful Las Vegas, whether it's next month or next year, I'm a local real estate agent here. I've lived here for nearly 20 years. I've definitely got your back if you're thinking about relocating here. Just call, text, or email me anytime, and I'll help you find that perfect dream home when that time is right for you. Let's dive into the video. So I just so happen to be in the most exclusive community in all of Las Vegas. Check out these $5 million plus homes behind me. You've got professional athletes that live here. You've got business people that live here. And there's a reason why I'm doing the video here today, guys, because the people that can buy these homes are typically cash buyers. They don't have to worry about interest rates. They've got plenty of money. But for the average buyer right now, in my opinion, is in trouble. In fact, I think they're screwed if they do anything right now. So let's dive into the information because I think you're going to find it very intriguing. All right, so let's take a look at this first video graphic from Yahoo News. It's a 90-second video that I want you guys to watch because it talks about interest rates and mortgage rates because, again, that's the elephant in the room regarding the entire housing market. So let's take a quick look at that video, and then we're going to come back to it and comment on it right after.
But we start with some housing numbers. Mortgage rates have been dropping for 4 straight weeks. Home buyers, though, still struggling with the housing market. Here to explain is Yahoo Finance housing reporter Rebecca Chen. Rebecca, nice to see you. So rates are falling. How low?
So the average 30-year mortgage rate has fallen to 6.28 from 6.32%. But even though there is a dip in mortgage rate, home buyers are still struggling with affordability issues. And this is because the rate drop is just not enough to offset the high housing costs. Many of the sellers that we are hearing is that they do not want to list their homes on the market right now. They have locked in a much lower rate at under 6%, and they don't want to sell their house and have to rebuy into today's environment. So what we are really seeing is a market gridlock between buyers and sellers because of the mortgage rates. A lot of the experts that we've spoken with, we asked them about, so what can we expect for this future year? And many of them just say it's hard to predict what will happen next in this volatile market because of job reports, inflation data, and the banking crisis. They really don't know what's going to happen. But what many economists are seeing is that they believe rates will stay between 5.5% to 6.5% in this coming year. So we are expecting rates to hover around that in the meantime.
Yeah, there seems to be some rush to judgment that it's going to go right back to 3. We've seen rates take 10 years to reach a new level in terms of that 3. So it could be at 5.5 a year from now. Inventory remains the biggest issue out there in housing, and no quick fix for that. Rebecca, thank you.
All right, so the key takeaway for me in that video clip came right at about the 30-second mark when the housing reporter was talking about how interest rates and mortgage rates have come down, but there's still a lot of fear for buyers because home prices are still near record highs. That's the problem, guys. Home prices are still very elevated, interest rates are still very elevated, and that is still spooking a lot of buyers. That's why I think time is on your side from a patient standpoint. I think something eventually has to break because affordability has to come back into the fold, whether that's home prices coming down a little bit more, if not a lot more, or mortgage rates coming down. One of these things has to happen to get us back to a more healthy market. And I think because home prices are still so elevated and rates, in my opinion, are not going down anytime soon, I do think home prices will further recede as we go through this year. All right, so let's take a look at this article that just came out a couple of weeks ago from Business Insider. You can see the headline here where it says, house prices are still very high, so hold off on buying as the U.S. economy will keep struggling, Yale economist Robert Shiller says. Now, if we scroll down here, take a look at the second bullet point on his quote, where he says, maybe if you have a good chance to delay your purchase, it might be a good time to do so. If we scroll down a little bit deeper, right at the end of this paragraph, he says, home prices are very, very high by historical standards. And if we go down just a little bit deeper here, this gray little part of the article here, I just want you to just take a look at this paragraph. I'm going to read it to you guys if you can't see it. It says, but Schiller believes that there's at least 6 months of declines left to come based on his view that key policymakers will eventually accept the recession that helps to drag down prices. So basically, guys, this is more or less what I've been saying for the last couple of months. Home prices by historical standards are very high. If you have the opportunity to delay your purchase, to wait for prices to come down, I'm not the only one saying that. This is a world famous economist from Yale saying the same thing. So again, from a patient standpoint, if you don't have to do anything right now, it doesn't hurt right now to just kind of sit tight and wait hopefully for prices to come down, because that will normalize the market and it'll be more advantageous if you're a buyer at that point. All right, so let's take a look at this article that just came out last week from Fortune magazine. Now, this is really stunning, guys. I want you guys to take a look at this. See the headline here where it says, this is how much money you need to earn annually to comfortably buy a $400,000 home in April of 2023. So they're just using a round number of $400,000. I want you guys to see some of the details here as we scroll down. So as we get down to the middle part of the article, right there, take a look here on the upper left side where it says your purchase price $400,000, down payment 7%, loan term is 30 years, and the interest rate is 6.6%. They're using that as just basically an aggregate from what's been happening over the last couple of months. But take a look at this right here where I highlighted this paragraph in blue. It says, according to these stats, your net or take-home pay should be roughly between $10,500 to $11,000 per month to afford a $400,000 home. An annual salary that would amount to between $165,000 to $195,000, depending on your state of residence, tax filing status, and other withholdings. Think about that, guys. A $400,000 home is basically the average price point. How many people in this country earn $165,000 to $195,000 per year? I can tell you right now, it's the smallest minority that earns that much money. So, to comfortably afford the average home price at $400,000, very few people can qualify. And again, everything comes back to income. If incomes can't match the affordability index to comfortably buy an average price home, that is going to ultimately create a long-term problem in the economy, and affordability has to come back in the mix. So either home prices are going to have to come down or interest rates are going to come down. And again, I don't think the Fed's policy is to lower interest rates. Ultimately, we have to see home prices come down because very few people can afford homes because they don't make this kind of money to afford an average price home. All right, so let's have a little fun here in Las Vegas. I'm on the popular real estate website Zillow. Now, a lot of people track home values on this website, and I know some people don't like it when I use it because they're not 100% accurate, but at least gives you a good ballpark idea as to what's going on with home prices in general. So I'm going to show you a few different price points here, starting in the uber luxury category. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, why am I taking a look at a home this expensive when most people can't ever afford a home like this? But even in the luxury category, things have changed quite a bit. So let's start here, and then we'll work our way down. Take a look at the price point here. This is a multi-million-dollar estate here in Las Vegas. It's listed currently right there at $6 million, but take a look underneath. It says price cut $700,000. That just happened a couple of weeks ago, which means this home was listed for $6.7 million. But take a look at the Zestimate. That's how Zillow's algorithm tracks the value. It's about $5.35 million is what they're estimating. So this price point is still considerably higher than what the actual value is that the Zestimate is valuing this home. But if we scroll down here, take a look at this, guys. This is what's crazy as to what's happened in the last couple of years. Take a look at the price history. In August of 2021, this home was sold for $3.7 million. And in about not even 2 years later, they listed it for 6.7, which is 81% higher in such a short time frame. It's absolutely mind-boggling that sellers were trying to get those kind of numbers because last year they thought they could do that, but that no longer is the case. So it just goes to show you, even in this luxury category space, home prices are dropping, and they're dropping at all different price points, especially at this level. All right, so let's take a look at this very nice home here in Henderson, Nevada. Now, Henderson is adjacent to Las Vegas. It's only about 15 minutes away. Take a look at this price point here, $795,000. And the Zillow Zestimate, what they're estimating it to be is $772,000. So this home is not too far off the mark. It's only about $25,000 above where the Zestimate is. But more importantly, I want you guys to take a look at this. I want you to take a look at the chart history right here. Okay, June of 2022, this home was valued right there where I'm moving the arrow at $967,000. So if we go back up here to the top line estimate here at 772, you could see that this home back in June, about 9 months ago or so, 10 months ago, it was valued at almost $1 million. So if you bought this home back then, you probably would have been paying somewhere close to that number. Now, 9 or 10 months later, waiting it out, you'd be paying closer to around $750 or $770. So again, that's what I mean about time being on your side. The market has definitely taken a hit. I do not think prices have hit bottom yet. And just by waiting this particular home out in the last 9 or 10 months, you would have saved yourself over $200,000. All right, so let's take a look at this third example here. Now, this home is listed at $650,000, but they just had a price cut a couple of weeks ago of $50,000, which means this home was originally listed for $700,000. Now, the Zestimate, the way Zillow estimates it, is at about $636,000. So again, not too far off the mark, but more importantly, take a look at this, because this is really what's shocking. We go down here to the price history chart. June of last year, this home was valued at $838,000, okay? So if you bought this home 10 months ago, you were probably gonna pay around $838,000. Now just take a look again at this top line estimate at about $636,000. So just by waiting 10 months, this home here has gone down also $200,000. This is happening across the valley here in Las Vegas with a lot of different homes, not all of them, but there's quite a few deals here that are available where if you just waited things out from last year's peak levels till now, you'd be saving yourself quite a bit of money. All right, so let's take a look at this final example because this is really the sweet spot average price point here in Las Vegas. Now, this is a very nice single-story home, about 1,900 square feet. You can see that it's listed for $430,000. Now, the Zestimate here, they're estimating it at about $410,000, so they're about $20,000 over the estimate. But again, not too far off the mark here. But more importantly, again, let's take a look and scroll down at the chart history here. June of last year, 10 months ago, at the peak levels of the real estate market, this home was valued at $503,000. So again, if we go back up here to this top line number and you take a look at that Zestimate at about 410, even if it was 420, this home has gone down 20% or about $80,000 to $90,000. So had you bought this home and it was listed last summer, you would have been paying around $500,000. Now you're going to be closer to the low 400s and save yourself about $80,000 or $90,000. So again, it doesn't matter if we started at that luxury category where there's obviously larger discounts or discounts down here at the average price point. Just by waiting out the peak levels from the last 9 or 10 months, you would have saved yourself quite a bit of money. So again, the prudent play, in my opinion, is that even though prices have kind of flatlined a little bit, I still think there's more room for prices overall across all price points to keep coming down, especially here in Las Vegas.
So here's the way I look at all of that data, guys. Remember during the peak of the pandemic, you couldn't find any toilet paper or hand sanitizer in any of the grocery stores? Everybody was buying it in droves and everything ran out and prices went all the way up. Now, if you went to a grocery store, you can find all the toilet paper and hand sanitizer that your heart desires. So how does that relate back to the real estate industry? The same thing happened. Everyone was buying houses during the peak of the pandemic. Prices went crazy. Inventory went down. Now, just by being patient, you can see in the last 9 or 10 months, home prices have gone down about 10% in most markets. Here in Las Vegas, it's gone down about 12%. So if you're looking to buy a home, it's just like what happened during the peak of the pandemic. Time is on your side if you're patient. Things will normalize. So if you're thinking about buying, just be patient a little while longer because I think this is going to be a slow grind down on real estate and prices will further recede. It'll be more advantageous if you're a buyer in this market. All right, so before we end the video, I just want to give a shout out to my favorite comment from last week's video. Just in case you're new to the channel, I'm giving a shout out to my favorite comment each week. So if you want to post a cooler creative comment, I'm going to give a shout out to my favorite one in the next week's video. This week's comment goes to MK, who talks about not trying to catch a falling knife. Wait for the knife to hit the ground, meaning wait for home prices to keep coming down. Again, I think home prices definitely have some more room to come down. So I'm giving that shout out to MK this week. And guys, just remember, leave a cooler creative comment. And of course, like the video. And the one that I like the most, I'm going to give a shout out in next week's video. So that wraps up today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed my transparency. Like I said, I'm always going to keep it 100% real regarding real estate on this channel with specific emphasis here in Las Vegas. So with that said, guys, I am a local real estate agent here in Las Vegas. I've lived here for nearly 20 years. I know every inch of this city. When the time is right for you guys to potentially relocate out here, like I said, take your time, be patient. I think time is on your side. I do think prices are going to recede further as we go through this year and into 2024. And when that time is right, just call, text, or email me anytime, and I'll help you find that perfect dream home. I'll see you guys in the next video.